I feel like my best self right now.
Gina on a track.
I just been running all my dollars up. Pick, let me flip my collar up. Try to come with me, might get a lot of stuff. Go crazy, like a baby told her swallow.
It's GM giving y'all the hottest gems out the city. It's not your normal GM interview. We're going to shine some spotlight on the entrepreneur out the city. Go ahead and let them know who we shining light on today.
I am Tony Davis. I'm the owner of Secret Scientist Clothing out of Mobile, Alabama.
How you doing today, Tony? I appreciate you letting that come in today and interview you this morning, because I know you're real busy. Like, we kind of want to give you the spotlight because you did a lot during this crazy time right now. Was that kind of hard for you, or how that was to open up during this time right here?
I actually think it made it easier for me. At the time, all the businesses were closed, and so with me being in Mobile, I was able to just touch people hand in hand. So even with me being the store manager at Zoomies, I wasn't really in the store at all times, so I was able to kind of move how I wanted to, and I didn't have to wait till I got off and things like that. So I was very accessible. So the brand kind of took off a little bit more with the situation that was going on right now, and that kind of just made me want to go ahead and open up a store just because the momentum had picked up so much.
Were you planning on opening up a store before?
No. So this kind of all happened in like 3 weeks maybe. I was gonna do a pop-up shop, and so I was ordering clothing and things like that, and so just being inside the store and the doors being closed, I had an itch just to do more. And so I was literally just laying in the bed one day, asked my wife, did she want me to open up a store or continue at Zoomies, and she was like, let's open up a store. And then that was it. 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I had a store open instead of just doing a pop-up shop. No plan, no nothing. Everybody thinks that I play in this big extravagant store, but I got this done in like 3-4 weeks.
So you're already ready to drop anyway.
Well, I was gonna do a pop-up shop, so I was like ordering stuff little by little, trying to see if I could get through a whole month without putting any clothes out, because everybody got used to me dropping every Friday. So I was like sitting on product. Of course it wasn't enough, so I had to order more, but I did have like at least a skeleton amount of products to at least get the store ready, not including what was in the stock room, but I had a plan for sure, but it wasn't this big. I didn't know it was gonna turn into this.
So I see this sign, you got bet on yourself, so that's basically what you did?
Yeah, I did this big Bet on Yourself collection last year, and it went really, really well. But I was also always working for somebody else. So I was a store manager at Zoomies. We were #1 in the district, #1 in payroll, #1 in inventory, #1 in order fulfillment. But I was still doing SS, and it just got to a point where I didn't have time to do both. And I'm good at what I do, so I was like, I might as well just go for it all. This is actually the first time in the whole 10 years that I've had my brand that I haven't been making another company better. So I have a lot more free time, a lot more freedom to actually make my brand better. So yeah, I did bet on myself, and it was honestly the best decision I could have made.
You got a lot of people out in the streets and different, you know what I'm saying, people wearing your clothes. Now, how were you able to market yourself like that, the way you do?
I talk to everybody, man. I'm just a regular dude. I don't mind talking to anybody. I don't focus on street. I don't focus on suburbs. I don't focus on white. I don't focus on black. I just talk to everybody. Also being in the mall all the time when I was at Zoomies, I was able to interact with so many different types of people and just tell them about my brand. So that kind of helped me out as well, being able to touch different markets. But just focusing on one market, it's just not going to cut it long term. So I have no choice but to market to everybody. You know, money's green. I don't care who spends it. You know, and I'm nice to people, so I think a lot of times people are drawn to me just based on my character and my personality. And I really take pride in that. I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm better than them or I'm trying to stunt on them, because that's not even the type of person that I am. I'm just a regular guy. I sell clothes. I love what I do. I like what I do, and I'm just able to touch people.
So when you design it for everybody, it's not just urban, like trying to reach the urban
No,
world.
I kind of just freestyle, man. I don't ever want to do anything that kind of looks like a lot of other stuff because I also don't dress like that. I put out a lot of stuff that I would wear. I used to not wear my brand at all. I didn't like my brand. I would just put out stuff just to sell. And so I had to change that, and that's kind of when my brand took off. I decided to put out pieces that I actually liked. I kind of stay a lot, very simple, I say, with my core colors. I don't do a lot too many bright colors. Not to say that that's wrong with that. That's just not me. So I put out a lot of pieces that I would wear. So now I'm at a point where every piece that I put out, I would wear. So that's really my main focus. And honestly, I'll plan out a whole season, and then 3 weeks later, I done forgot about that whole season, and I'm doing something else. I just kind of go. I'm always on the move. These basketball jerseys I just put out, I think I had that in my phone for like 7 years, and I just put them out. So I kind of just go. I have a core of what I know I'm going to put out, but at this point now, the turnover so fast, I'm just always designing like nonstop.
You got like a kind of skateboard feel to me. That's what feel me to it.
Yeah.
It looks different when you ain't doing what everybody else is doing.
No, I mean, I'm like old school streetwear, bro. When I had Fly Times in 2009, 2010, like, that was like Wiz, Currency, all those guys were coming up. It was like a real streetwear culture, and skateboards was right hand in hand. And then working at Zoomies, of course, that's all skateboard. So it's something that I'm kind of just drawn to, not purposely. I don't know how to skateboard at all. I used to do it a little bit, but it's gonna hurt a lot more when I fall now. I'm a lot older now. But I try to keep it like the vintage streetwear feel. And that vintage streetwear definitely goes hand in hand with skateboard. And I think it's going to come back, honestly. The way that SB Dunks are popping off again, I think that skateboard culture and streetwear is about to come back together again.
All right. With you being an entrepreneur, have you hired any family members, or you plan on hiring family members?
Business.
Not. Probably not, but it's not like intentional. I work well by myself. I've always been by myself. I'm not one of those people where it's like, I gotta have my team, I gotta have my team. This is not a new brand. I've been doing this for 10 years. So I know my pattern, I know my daily routine, I know what I need done. And so a lot of times people don't really want to make the effort that I need them to make. And it's not, I don't think it's intentional, but this is mine. Like, this is my baby. I'm gonna go as hard as I wanna go for my brand because it's mine. I can't expect somebody else to go as hard for my brand as I would. Like, I'm up every morning at 4:45. I go to the gym, I come home, I run a couple miles, and then I start my day talking to manufacturers overseas. So I gotta be up early to communicate with them. If I'm not, I miss a whole day. So now the people that I have hired, I can't lie, I took them from my previous job at Zoomies. I don't want to say it was intentional, but it kind of was. I took the people that I felt that I trust the most and that I know would do well, and they would do well. They believe in me, they believe in my brand, and they are like family, but necessarily hiring like family, nah. Once money gets involved, things get weird, and the last thing I want to do is lose a friendship or relationship over some money when you could just be my family forever and be happy from the outside looking in.
I'm saying what if you go to the next, like open up more stores? Or
no, I still won't.
Is that your plan?
My plan is to open up probably, I want to do 4 max probably, unless it just goes crazy. But 4 max is cool. So we're already talking about another city, but I'm doing it based on people that I have working here. I don't want my associates to go somewhere and then not be happy in a city that they don't want to be in. So if we can make the city work that they want to go to, then we can run it like that and try that. Because I've seen situations where somebody has moved for a job, hated the city, and they've come back home, or they've left, or they quit. And I'm the entrepreneur. We can't quit. We only need wins. I can't take any losses. So if that person will be happy and we make a plan and set up the blueprint to go somewhere else, I will definitely do it. But I'm definitely going to work internally before I work externally. These people that I have here, I trust with my life almost. They're not stealing from me. They love my brand. They love Secret Scientist. So I'm definitely going to work internally before I work externally. I think that just makes more sense.
Was it hard getting your brand into the Zoom stores, or was it easy by you being a district manager?
Being the store manager, I had a lot more access to people. So I had direct contact to the buyers. I had direct contact to the director of stores and things like that. It still wasn't easy. Trust me, I emailed the buyers for probably 1.5 years, barely even got a response. literally, I just happened to go to a Zoomies event as a store manager, and I ran into a lady named Erin. She's the big dog at Zoomies, and told her about my brand and told her the success of my store, and she knew who I was or knew of me. And literally, she made a one email, and 2 weeks later, I was inside the stores. So after a year and a half of not getting any responses, I met Erin on a whim, and I was in stores 2 weeks later.
Can you tell them? You could talk about how your first day opening up the store, how that went, and how business been going.
Grand opening was much better than I expected it to be. I knew it was going to be a good day because at 10:45, right before we opened, I had an entire rack fall, and I was like, okay, cool, something bad happened, so I know it's going to be a good day. If nothing would have happened, I'd have been worried. But then once I looked out of that door and saw the line 100 people deep, I knew it was going to be a good day. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but just to have that type of support from the city was amazing. It made me want to work even harder and give the city even more and give back even more.
All right, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. But anything you want to tell the people, like, for as your new stock, when you gonna be dropping stuff or anything like that?
Probably on Fridays. I'm thinking about I might do a trot on Mondays just to drive some traffic earlier in the week. But I will say that once I post it, I have it, and it's going to come out. And if you don't get it, it's going to be gone. So if you see something you like, come a little early and line up because it's going to sell out. No more holds, I promise. Maybe, unless I know you. But nah, just come and support Secret Scientists. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Shout out GMTV.
GMTV, thank you so much. And bet on yourself. They caught me off guard with that one.
GMTV.
GMTV.
Giving y'all the hottest gems out the city.